About to hear what can only be described as a stunning telephone call. On one end, Georgia's Republican Secretary of State. On the other, the President of the United States pressuring the Secretary to help overturn the election. President Trump urges Brad Raffensperger to find, as he puts it, enough votes to overturn Joe Biden's victory there. The recorded hour-long conversation Saturday is filled with insults, compliments, and pleading. It follows nearly 9 weeks of the president falsely claiming that voter fraud cost him re-election.
The House will be in order.
True faith and allegiance to the same.
Today on Capitol Hill, the 117th Congress was sworn in. Nancy Pelosi was re-elected House Speaker for a 4th term, but the pomp comes with Republicans in open warfare. This week, several GOP senators in the Senate plan to challenge Mr. Biden's decisive Electoral College victory. Today, former House Speaker Paul Ryan rebuked their efforts as undemocratic that strike at the foundation of our republic. The bitter back and forth is erupting as time runs out on the Trump presidency. CBS's Ben Tracy is at the White House and leads us off tonight. Ben, good evening.
Jerika, President Trump has less than 17 days left here at the White House, and he's not going quietly. He continues to pressure lawmakers and state officials to overturn the election result, and now the vice president is signaling his support.
Please raise your right hand.
Today, Vice President Mike Pence swore in senators at the Capitol as he gave his backing to an effort by at least a dozen Republican senators to object to certifying President-elect Joe Biden's victory on Wednesday. In a statement, Mr. Pence's chief of staff, Mark Short, said the vice president shares the concerns of millions of Americans about voter fraud and irregularities in the last election.
We have an obligation to the voters, and we have an obligation to the Constitution to ensure that this election was lawful.
But every state has certified their election results, and there is no credible evidence of fraud. A bipartisan group of U.S. senators said today in a statement, the 2020 election is over. The voters have spoken, and Congress must now fulfill its responsibility to certify the election results.
Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to be inaugurated as president and as vice president, and no publicity stunt that these guys are pulling are going to change that.
President Trump continues to lash out at Georgia's Republican Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger.
You should want to have an accurate election, and you're a Republican.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have, not even close.
In audio of a phone call obtained by CBS News, President Trump pressured Raffensperger on Saturday to recalculate Georgia's election results, a state Biden won.
And there's nothing wrong with saying that, that you've recalculated.
Well, Mr. President, the challenge that you have is the data you have is wrong.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
Campaigning in Georgia tonight for Democrats, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris sharply criticized the president's phone call.
Have you all heard about that recorded conversation? Well, it was, yes, certainly the voice of desperation.
Ben, you know, the president is also encouraging his supporters to travel to Washington Wednesday for a protest. What's the expectation there?
Yeah, so the president wants to see large protests here in the nation's capital just as Congress is meeting to certify Joe Biden's victory. The president's been tweeting about this. He even sent out a video saying it's going to be one of the most historic days ever. There are some concerns about right-wing militia groups coming here to Washington, D.C., and today President Trump said he will appear at one of these events in person. Jerika.
Ben Tracy for us at the White House. Thank you.